For over 100 years, the story has been written, ever changing and growing with each new chapter. The soul remains, though the characters change. Bigger, faster, stronger, smarter.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
So too grows our fandom. Start miles ahead. The 2020 Prospect Encyclopedia. September. Available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and Blitzalytics.com.
Good evening, everybody. What's going on? Your man Eric Wilson here, Sports Arena. Monday night, and I know we have a Monday night game going on, but up until just now, it was about as I needed Pepto-Bismol. But Christian Kirk scored the first touchdown of the game, so Cardinals are up 7-0 over those Cowboys. With that, let me get the guys in here so we can have a real quick conversation. First and foremost, let me bring in the Dallas Cowboy fan who lives in Arizona, so I don't know how he's feeling right now. Believe in the Pac-12 podcast, Mr. Michael Carrotson-Nudo. Michael, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Christian Kirk, Arizona high school kid and a Texas A&M alum, scores the first touchdown, like you said. So it's pretty ugly, but at least Leighton Vander Esch, like I told you, at least Leighton Vander Esch is back, because that's about all I'm looking forward to.
Well, there you go. Next up, let me bring in one half of the carousel debate that happened on this past Thursday. That was just an instant classic. He would be the victor of that debate, because his team did win, Mr. Alex Fleming's Florida Sun Review. What's up, Alex? NFL contributor, NFL Carousel host. How are you?
I'm just happy that I was in the booth instead of the deck. It's a lot different when you're actually there.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. And of course, last but not least, I call him the Hitman, because this man is just full of knowledge, full of information, full of facts, and been a friend for over a decade. Turning Point Podcast, telling both sides of the story. Jake Rongholt. Jake, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. So sorry about that. That Monday Night Football game was putting me to sleep there for a minute.
Yeah, all of us were putting to sleep. So, gentlemen, I don't want to waste any time here this evening with Tonight on the Sports Arena. I want to get into things. So let's just jump right into it. And from time to time, I am going to bring up the game just in case something exciting or elaborate happens. But Alex and Jake, let's talk about what happened yesterday. That bad man that is Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, was just simply bad yesterday. You come out looking hot. You come out looking this was going to be a shootout. You put up 10 points, and then I couldn't find Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, or anybody else with a green and yellow Packers uniform to save my life. It became the Tom Brady show. So, Jake, I got to hear from you first, brother. What happened yesterday?
What happened is that the real credit went to the team that was prepared for this, and that was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There is a reason why this defense was ranked 3rd overall in total defense, and they proved it. They shut down Aaron Rodgers. They held Aaron Jones to 10 carries, 15 yards, and the Packers could do nothing. After that pick six and that interception, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went right down the field and scored. Ronald Jones was amazing as usual. The guy is averaging 100 yards per game. The Buccaneers were ready for this game. The Packers once again showed that a good team they are not prepared for. It just had shades of San Francisco all over again. And you see these two jerseys behind me? These
Yes.
two jerseys represent defense, something that the Green Bay Packers continue to not show to me. I don't want to hear that it's the players. I want to hear that it's the defensive coordinator, Mike Pettine, continuously making mistake after mistake, because this is a guy who gave 27 points in the NFC Championship game, and for some reason, this guy kept his job. And then I hear today on the Pack-A-Day podcast that Mike Pettine actually brought down the times that he will blitz, because this is hilarious. Because the man-to-man coverage was winning, so they decided to have lack of blitzing now going forward. That's a great idea to do with the Smith brothers, isn't it? This is just the same old Packers. Terrific offense, no defense, and it's going to continue until there's some change by Matt LaFleur.
All right, so Alex, I'm going to let you get in there because this is the team that you cover and know very well, living in the area. Speak on the success of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday, my friend.
Whenever you do discount double checks, you have to make sure that you can back it up. Everything changed with the Jamel Dean pick 6 to the house.
Yeah.
Now, up until they played Tampa Bay, Aaron Rodgers wasn't sharing the football. He was being real greedy with the offense. But the second he let somebody else taste that cookie, cookie tastes so good. Oh, and he got touched. He got touched multiple times. He got roughed up like he was in the San Francisco prison. He got touched a lot. And that John with Ndamukong Suh, that messed with his head. That's how you get to Aaron Rodgers. You apply pressure, you take away one primary weapon, and once you get him once, you know you can get him twice. And you can run the football against the Green Bay Pack. We spoke about this, Jake. Nobody tested that offensive line. Bakhtiari is out now. Once that offensive line got tested, Aaron Rodgers got touched, everything started to change. Green Bay is not as good as they look. They are a bully and an aggressor. And the second you step up to a bully, you saw what happened.
And another thing, if I may,
go ahead. I got to let Mike get in, but go ahead,
Jake. There was a wonderful article today by Peter King where he interviewed Jamel Dean. You know what Jamel Dean did to prepare for that pick 6? He went through hours and hours of film watching that sideline pass of Devontae Adams. Once he saw that pass, he knew he was going to get that ball. So that's a lot of great credit to Todd Bowles and that coaching staff that continues to keep these players on track, reading up on their playbook and studying before the next game.
All right, Mike, go ahead and get in there, man, because you had no part of this game. Your game's going on right now. But speak to me about, I guess, the success of Brady, even though I know it's hard for you to do sometimes, but also speak about what you see with this Green Bay team, my brother.
Well, I mean, to Jake's point and to Alex's point too, it's one of those things where it's about my favorite side of the ball, finally about defense. And not that Brady didn't have a great game, or he had a good game. I mean, his numbers weren't the craziest, but he did hook up with Gronk. He looked comfortable. He barely got touched. But defensively, when I was watching this game, I was in a little bit of shock. And Bruce Arians summed it up the best after the game because, I mean, as we know here in Arizona, like he'll say it as he sees it, but he said he's never seen in all his years of coaching Aaron Rodgers look confused. When he said that post game, and I was like, I'm like, that's kind of a shot at Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, like he was flustered. That pick changed the game. They were up 10-0, and you throw 2 picks like that. Again, if you have a defense like that and the Packers still can't stop the run, like Jake said, ask the 49ers who didn't have to pass the ball in the second half of an NFC championship game. So, I mean, again, the Packers are I mean, is it smoke and mirrors? I don't know. But, Eric, I go off of what I said to you. I mean, I know we'll get to it, but the Bears are the best team in that division, in my opinion, because that defense, that'll rival any offense in the league. So, but for the Packers, I mean, it is back to the drawing board. I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to say they're not going to be a playoff team. But if they face defenses like Tampa again, they got to face Chicago. I mean, it's going to be a no-brainer. They might not make the playoffs if they play again like that now that everybody has film. Now, not everybody has the personnel on defense that Tampa does, but there's a huge blueprint now.
Okay, fair enough. Alex, I'm going to give you the last word, then we're going to keep it moving, sir.
Tom Brady didn't have to do much. There was a Gronk sighting, finally. Linebackers were undersized against Gronk. I like the fact that Vita Vea was missing and Roches came up and stood out. And Ndamukong Suh was the mercenary that he was supposed to be. Oh, and those linebackers to Tampa flew all over the
Hey,
field.
David. Yeah. Hey, real quick, too, by the way, what is the biggest difference between the Buccaneers and the Packers after that game? The Packers flew home and said, oh, we'll be fine, no problem. You know what the Buccaneers did? They went and got the team captain from the New York Jets, Steve McClendon, and traded him. They traded for a defensive tackle for Vita Vea. That is huge. They knew Vea was out for the rest of the year. So what they do? They will get the team captain of the New York Jets, Steve McClendon, to help out with Ndamukong Suh. You can definitely tell which team wants to win more.
All right, gentlemen, let's keep it moving here on the Sports Arena.
Sorry.
So let's keep moving now. Let's go to another team that a lot of us had mixed emotions about, and that would be the New England Patriots, mainly because it was a new-look quarterback under the Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels era. Well, this team, for the first time since 2001, is under 500. Each one of you, I'm going to give you 90 seconds like we do on the carousel. Got to ask a question for you. Is this time to panic when it comes to Bill Belichick and Cam Newton? Mike, I'm going to let you go first. 90 seconds. What do you think?
I don't know if it's time to panic. I mean, it is a little alarming when you lose like that. But defensively, for a Belichick team, it's not a panic because, I mean, 6 field goals. And we all know you should never lose to a team that kicks 6 field goals and can't get in the end zone on you, on the road especially. You do need to see some more continuity with the receivers. And we know throughout the years that's been one of the knocks on Cam Newton. Maybe it was his accuracy. When North Turner got to Carolina, it seemed like the offense clicked more. He is an MVP. I don't see that issue. He's coming back off the COVID. No, it's not an excuse, but I'm not going to panic yet just because Jake just alluded to the trade. I was going to say the Jets are terrible in that division. The Bills suffered their second loss in a row, even though I think that obviously you said the Chiefs. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to say they can't make the playoffs, but I would say within the next 2 weeks,
All right.
Cam needs to clean up the offense or clean up his accuracy. Mm-hmm.
All right, Jake, I'm going to go to you. And before I get to you, Kenyon Drake's got a touchdown here. So the Arizona Cardinals are up 14-0 now over the Dallas Cowboys. But Jake, 90 seconds to you, my brother. As a Patriots guy, if you were a fan of that team, should you be worried right now?
No, because you went through COVID-19. You didn't have your best cornerback, so that's a big loss for them. Their offensive line is banged up right now, and they're trying to still figure out if their running game is legit. I mean, James White, he's the pass-catching running back, but you got to tell me, is Damian Harris going to be your future, or is Sony Michel going to be? Because they need to start getting that ball to him and stop taking that pressure off Cam Newton. The Broncos had a wonderful game plan defensively. This is what Vic Fangio is known for. Tough and tumble, rough and tumble defense. Guys that'll punch you in the mouth, and they'll make sure that you feel it because they're going to come at you again and again and again, and that's what they did. The Broncos deserve all the credit in the world, even though that offense almost gave that game away. I still can't go against Belichick, and I'm not going to say that Cam Newton is done yet. They just need to adjust, get better, have a better game plan next time, and get ready for the 49ers because they're coming to town.
All right, Alex. 90 seconds, my brother. You and I are Cam Newton fans. Sometimes I'm a little more of a fan than you are. But given what is going on right now with New England, are you hitting the panic button, sir?
Hell no. Let me tell you guys something about Denver, Colorado. 5,268 feet, high elevation. Let's say you have a regular car and you travel from Florida to New Mexico. It's kind of the same. Now imagine that by double. You lose about 100 tons or 100 keys of horsepower in that high elevation. It's harder to jump. It's harder to breathe. It's harder to run. Now, Cam Newton may be allergic to the Denver Broncos, but he only has to play them once every some odd years. The New England Patriots are going to be absolutely perfectly fine. Bruh, the defense didn't give up a touchdown. Think about that. They had 11 people opt out, and they didn't give up a touchdown. All right? Cam Newton has a problem with Denver. We admit that. Are they all on the same page? Is Sony Michel back? Are they missing people on defense? Yes, yes, yes. And you don't think that Bill Belichick's going to be ready for Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers whenever they come to Foxborough?
There you go.
Move on. Move on.
Okay. All right. Listen, I got to ask the question based on what we've seen because we have not seen this in almost 2 decades. So that's why I asked the question. Gentlemen, I'm going to take a real quick break, come back more with Mike, Jake, Alex, and your man Eric Wilson here on the Sports Arena back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Sports Arena, ladies and gentlemen. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside my guys, Mike Carrots-Noodle, Believe in the Pac-12, Jake Wrongholt, Turning Point Podcast, and NFL Carousel host and NFL contributor, writing great articles, not only for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but for other teams in the NFL, my man, Alex Fleming. All right, gentlemen. So let me get to my next topic here that I want to ask you guys on this one, because this one to me is just something that I'm waiting. I guess I'm chomping at the bit here. Why? Well, Bill O'Brien got fired. And then Dan Quinn got fired. Hey, when is Adam Gase getting fired, guys? Jake, when is he getting fired? Seriously.
Not until the end of the season when the New York Jets are 0-16, because what VP Joe Douglas, the former Eagles, has up his sleeve, he wants Trevor Lawrence, and he wants to bring in his own head coach. Because if right now, just think about right now, if you're in the mindset of a Jets fan, what are you thinking right now? Your perfect team, you're going to get Trevor Lawrence, you're going to get head coach Eric Bieniemy to come over and be the guy that's going to be able to rebuild this offense and become something amazing. They're going to bring in a solid defensive coordinator. This is exactly what the Jets are trying to do here. And we already know it's the dumbest decisions they could possibly make, because until further notice, they are just going to continue to make the same mistakes they did in the 90s with Rich Kotite. They're going to keep doing it with this, because, I mean, this is laughable. I mean, he was interviewed after the 24-0 blowout against the Dolphins. And you know what he was asked when they said, "Are you going to stop calling plays?" This is what he said. I quote, "That's step 10. We're only on step 2. Step 2 of what? What checklist am I looking at here? You're a terrible football coach. You have already proved it with Dwell Loggins. You've done nothing in Chicago. You did nothing in Miami."
I guess Adam Gase must have got a hold of Jake because he froze him up. Hey, Mike, get in there real quick while we get Jake back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he should be fired right now, which is the right thing to do. I disagree with Jake, though. I know everybody's saying Trevor Lawrence, and look, I'm not saying I don't like Trevor Lawrence. Sam Darnold's injured. You realize I haven't won a game without Sam Darnold as their quarterback? I'm not giving up on Sam Darnold, but I also think, and because I think he's better than Baker Mayfield in my eyes. But that being said, I just think I don't understand why you don't do it now. I mean, they can start their search. You have an interim coach take over. Yeah, when I heard the step 2, I thought you said 3, but either way, step 2 of 10, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the defense is still playing, I guess you could say, somewhat inspired football, even though they're losing. But at the same time, like, you get rid of – if they fire him now, though, I will say this lastly, Eric, it makes him look even worse, because you should have fired him when your best player wanted out of town and is sitting 3,500 miles away in Seattle. You just released Le'Veon Bell, because we all know when Le'Veon Bell doesn't want to be somewhere, he's not going to be somewhere. And now the Super Bowl champs pick him up. So, again, yes, the coach has to have accountability, but if they're going to side with him and they keep him, like I said, I don't agree with taking Trevor Lawrence. I fire him now. And especially if they lose again this week and he's not fired, then yes, they're probably doing what Jake said, wait until the end of the year. But he should be fired right now. They've done nothing on offense. Injuries or not, they're not even fighting on offense. It's terrible.
All right.
It's absolutely
Jake,
terrible.
Apparently, you putting Chicago and Adam Gase, you put both of them together Chicago fans got pissed off at you, so that's why they cut you out of the feed. But I'm gonna let you get back in here and finish it before I go to my man Alex.
That's fine, and I understand. But Bears fans, you got to realize Adam Gase was not that great for you. All right, and he's continuing to prove it. I mean, Dwell Loggins and Adam Gase, did you know that their offense was ranked 26th overall? I know because I actually went to those games, and I actually saw what Adam Gase and Dwell Loggins were doing at that offense. And they take the same exact offense and bring it over to Miami. And what happens? They're one of the worst in the NFL. And then what does he do with the Jets? Nothing. Not to mention, this is a team that let their best wide receiver go. They drafted Denzel Mims, who has done nothing. They let Le'Veon Bell go, even though they gave him $57 million, and instead they get $27 million guaranteed. It doesn't matter. The Jets continue to make these dumb mistakes over and over again. And also, I feel bad for Joe Douglas because it's all Mike Maccagnan. It's all Mike Maccagnan. This is the guy who created this blueprint from hell, and Joe Douglas is trying to get out of the underworld and try and figure out how to rebuild this team correctly.
Hey, big dog, I'm going to let you have the last word on this before we go to our last topic here, sir. Speak on Adam Gase, and just please give me some hope that sometime soon this man is no longer going to be the head coach of the New York Jets for two reasons. One, Mama Caratanudo, and two, my wife. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
I need a Jets win this year. Seriously.
You might get one. Let me tell you the truth. Adam Gase has been horrible everywhere he's went. Adam Gase has a coach, has furloughed more people than Disney. Okay? Nobody wants to play for Adam Gase. Nobody wants to deal with Adam Gase. Do you remember what happened in Miami? Whenever Ndamukong Suh, Cameron Wake, and that whole defense said, to hell with you, I'm gone. Now he's doing the exact same thing with the Jets. Your number one is Crowder, who's a number two on or number three on most squads. Your number two is Brashard Perriman, who was a joke and had to have number one and 1B receivers go down in Tampa to actually get anything done. Number three, Denzel Mims, Baylor, product. He passed the eye test, but I wouldn't play for Adam Gase either. And you got Flacco and Darnold to throw the ball to. Darnold, he can't even handle mono. That's last year. This year, he's looked awful. He's actually looked worse than Baker. And Flacco, Joe Flacco, old man Joe Flacco, can't stay in Denver and get high Joe Flacco? I'm 273 yards away from tying Joe Montana, and I managed to get 113 Joe Flacco? Yeah, no, please. Offensive line is horrible. CJ Mosley is eating chicken wings in bars watching how bad the Jets are, bro. There is no hope for Adam Gase. You have better luck getting a free stimulus check from Donald Trump than a victory from the Jets in week 8, 9, 10, or 11. Let me put it like that.
Damn. You know what? I'm going to take another break real quick because I need to marinate on that for a second, fellas. Hey, we'll be right back with our last topic, I promise. Sports Arena, we'll be right back.
Wait till you guys eat this.
Wow. Hey, look, it's so
Give me
clean.
some of that.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports Arena here, back with the guys. So our last topic, gentlemen, and I'm going to go to my big dog, Alex Fleming, on this one because, Alex, I have to give you high praise right now, my brother. Now let's look at it from a perspective, if you will. Shameless plug from my man Show in the offseason. You cover the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you're doing great work there. You're covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are atop the NFC South, right along with other teams such as New Orleans. And I'm not going to sleep on them Carolina Panthers. However, sometimes it's about your heart. And I know I'm on the wrong side here. Sometimes it's about your heart that sometimes tweaks you and gives you a good reason to smile. The Chicago Bears are in first place in the NFC North. I'm going to say it one more time before I kick it over to Alex. The Chicago Bears, led by Nick Foles, are in first place in the NFC North. Alex, is the torch being passed to the monsters of the Midway?
Oh, man.
It's more like an Olympic handoff. We still have to go through Green Bay, and Chicago acknowledges that, but we don't have to worry about Minnesota. Oh, and those kitty cats I saw yesterday, yeah, they beat up on Jacksonville. They're not doing that against the monsters of the Midway. They had the chance week 1, and you saw what happened when they got it through with Trubisky. By the way, Christian Kirk, second touchdown, but that's a different story. Chicago has defense. Chicago has linebackers who like to hit you. Chicago has a running game because you saw against the Carolina Panthers, like we talked about last week, they jumped on Teddy Two Gloves early. Did they not? They held on to a lead, and they were able to push them off from making any real type of pain or exposure to that Chicago Bear defense, because the defense was on the field a lot more in the second half than they were in the first half. Allen Robinson was begging for the ball. He wanted to trade with Trubisky as the starter. Now that you got big Nick Foles in the mix, things are cooking. Things are working. Anthony Miller. Cole Kmet got his first touchdown amongst the 8 tight ends that they have. Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, look for that to be a future double tight end set to run the ball down people's throat, and we got something for Green Bay this year. Oh, we got something for Green Bay this year. We got a shutdown corner. We got linebackers. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers likes to be smothered. Well, I guarantee you Roquan Smith and that Khalil Mack is going to give him all the smothering that he can handle. Chicago's going to win this division, but it will be a fight. I just need somebody else from the NFC North to actually stand up to Aaron Rodgers and cost him a victory, because I only see us losing one in the division. We're sweeping Minnesota like we did the last 2 years. We'll take out Detroit Thanksgiving Day, free bird for dinner. And then Green Bay, 1-1.
Mike, get in there, brother.
Well, yeah, and the one guy that I wish was back in Dallas, Alex, is Robert Quinn. I mean, that was a phenomenal signing. He had a solid year last year for them and goes to Chicago where, you have a young backer like Roquan Smith, and you have Khalil Mack, who, I mean, it's just – side note, that next week Monday night game I cannot wait for between the Rams and the Bears. That will be sick. But I do – yeah, I can see more of an Olympic torch passing, like Alex saying. But like I said to you before, Eric, I mean, with that defense, look, Nick Foles made throws yesterday when he had to. And I'm not saying he had a bad game. I mean, it was kind of stale there offensively for both teams a little bit. But I will say that he made plays when he had to. But that defense, to our point, is going to keep them in every game. I don't see anybody blowing them out. I don't see anybody, again, trying to run the ball down their throats. I mean, you have to have a patient running attack as an offense. If you become one-dimensional, you just play into their hands. That defensive line, they'll just pin their ears back and absolutely crush you. So I look at the Bears as, yes, the favorite in the division. I know the Vikings, yes, lost players. They got a totally young secondary. They're a dumpster fire. But and the Lions, I'm with you on that, Alex. I always try and say something positive about the Lions because they need it, but at the same time, it's pretty hard to. So the Bears, to me, win that division. I can see a split with the Packers, but I could also see him sweeping the Packers too, because Khalil Mack, even his first game against Aaron Rodgers, was in his face. They just added to that defense, and offensively, Nick Foles, he's not going to turn the ball over. So if the plays aren't there, yeah, he might not make it, but they're going to run the ball, and he's going to make throws when he has to. So I love the Bears to win that division now.
Jake, this has been your division for quite some time as a Packers fan. You have had great success in the division. You've made the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers have multiple years. By hook or by crook, you've gotten in there. as a fan of the Packers, I need to know, what does your future look like this season? Are the Bears going to surpass you?
We're going to find out in the next 3 games because the Packers are going to be playing the Texans and then they have the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears are going to be going to at LA, welcoming the Saints. And so they're going to play the Titans at Tennessee. So we're going to find out what team is really the real deal in the NFC North. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Chuck Pagano has done an incredible job with this defense. I love this front seven. They're just a blast to watch. They're always getting after the quarterback, forcing them to make turnovers and mistakes. Eddie Jackson is doing an incredible job because not only is he playing the safety position, but he also gets in there on those run plays, on those screen plays, on those option plays, and gets in there and gets down and dirty and makes those fumbles happen. And that's what you need to do. Now, the only problem with the Bears is their offense. Now, I love Nick Foles, the walking sports movie that he is, but Matt Nagy has this problem. He doesn't know how to run the football, and this offensive line still is not ready for prime time. Outside of the tackles, who did a great job against the Panthers, their interior line was not able to create holes and gaps for David Montgomery. David Montgomery only ran the football 16 times for 58 yards. That is not going to cut it. Matt Nagy needs to come up with a complete offense. Look, I know that you're looking for this, but they're not a top-tier offense. They are not even a middle-of-the-road offense. They're ranked from 20 and below right now, and they need to figure out a way to try and win those games with this because there are going to come times when that defense is not able to make the stops that they need to. So this offense needs to show some kind of sign that they can beat very good teams. Rams, Saints, Titans. You beat them, then I can't wait to see them play the Green Bay Packers 2 weeks later after they beat down the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. All right, gentlemen.
Jay just likes to beat down the Minnesota Vikings.
He did say that. He did
say that.
Bears
own the Vikings. If you watch them at Soldier Field, the Vikings have not been able to win in Chicago since Brad Childress was the coach.
Wow. Dropping knowledge like he always does. Jake Wrongholt, Turning Point Podcast, Believe in the Pac-12, Michael Carrot-Tenuto dropping stuff each and every Friday. And my man, host of the NFL Carousel, live every Thursday right here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, along with NFL contributor, writer for the Jacksonville Jaguars and Florida Sun Review, the oldest black newspaper. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time this evening. Everybody be safe, wear a damn mask, wash your damn hands, be kind to one another. Hey, and most importantly, just like there's 4 of us, I got 4 letters for y'all. VOTE. Get your asses out there and vote. We got 15 days. Make your voice heard. Sports Arena, out.